The obsidian walls of the grand Senate Hall pulsed with a light that seemed to breathe, a visual echo of the nervous energy coursing through the assembled dignitaries. Shadowy figures, their forms vaguely humanoid but undeniably alien, shifted and whispered in their tiered seats, their multifaceted eyes reflecting the flickering projections that dominated the central chamber. The image of the anomaly, a swirling vortex of distortion in the void between the Xylar system and the known galaxy, crackled with unpredictable energy, a cosmic wound that had opened just days ago, a harbinger of something unknown. Ambassador Xylar, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the artificial light, clenched his mandibles, the subtle clicking a sign of his mounting anxiety. He addressed the silent gathering, his voice a low, resonant drone that filled the cavernous hall. The readings remain inconclusive. The distortion is unprecedented. The energy signatures defy all known physics. We cannot determine its origin, its purpose, or its potential threat. A ripple of unease spread through the hall, a collective shudder that resonated with the fear that had gripped the Xylar Empire since the anomaly's appearance. For centuries, the Xylar had ruled with a cold efficiency, their technological prowess unmatched, their galactic dominance absolute. They had faced down empires and conquered entire star systems, but this was different. This was something they didn't understand, something that threatened to unravel the very fabric of their reality. The grand strategist, a towering figure whose carapace was scarred with the marks of countless battles, stepped forward, his silhouette casting an immense shadow. And the scouting probes? His voice, a gravelly rumble, sliced through the anxious murmur. Have they returned with any useful information? The question hung in the air, a stark reminder of the limitations of their power. The probes, dispatched into the anomaly, had vanished without a trace, their data streams abruptly cut off, their destinies unknown. They were lost, swallowed whole by the unknown. Ambassador Xylar hesitated, his mandibles clicking again, a sign of his internal struggle. The probes sent to intercept that anomaly have disappeared. No data, no contact. He continued with a grim tone. They were destroyed, swallowed whole by its strange properties. It has already claimed the lives of numerous members of our scouting party. A palpable wave of dread washed over the chamber, and a hush fell over the senators and advisors. The unknown was always a greater threat than the enemy that one understood. A young senator, her iridescent skin shimmering with a nervous energy, dared to break the silence. Perhaps it is a natural phenomenon, a cosmic event beyond our control. Her voice trembled slightly, a testament to the fear that was gripping them all. The grand strategist turned, his gaze sweeping over the young senator, his expression unreadable. A natural phenomenon that defies all known laws of physics, a phenomenon that appears within our controlled space. No, Senator. This is not natural. The implications of his words hung in the air, a chilling reminder of the fragility of their power. The Xylar had always believed themselves to be masters of their destiny, but this anomaly, this unknown threat, was a stark reminder of the vastness of the cosmos and the limitations of their understanding. They were not alone in the universe. Someone or something else may be out there, something that would threaten their very existence. They had to be prepared. Ambassador Xylar steepled his long, thin appendages, the gesture a deliberate display of calm, a calculated attempt to quell the rising panic. We have considered all possibilities. We have analyzed the data, consulted the oracle, and debated the potential threats. And we have concluded we are alone. A gasp rippled through the hall, followed by a stunned silence. They were the dominant power of the galaxy. They had eliminated all potential threats. Now they were on their own. The grand strategist scoffed. A lone star system can offer no help to us. We have the technology, the resources, and the power to deal with this threat. We do not need the assistance of lesser species. The words, laced with arrogance, seemed to sting the air. They were the Xylar, the undisputed rulers of the galaxy. They did not ask for help. They did not need help. A seasoned senator, his carapace weathered by centuries of political maneuvering, rose slowly, his voice laced with the weariness of experience. Perhaps we should consider other options. We have observed the species known as humans. Their system is isolated. They are technologically primitive, but they are also unpredictable. He paused, allowing the weight of his words to settle. They have shown a surprising resilience, a capacity for innovation that defies their limitations. Perhaps they could offer some insight, or at least be a warning to us. The suggestion was met with a chorus of dissenting murmurs. The notion of seeking assistance from a primitive species was anathema to the Xylar Empire. It was a sign of weakness, a betrayal of their proud history. The grand strategist glared at the senator, his expression a mask of disapproval. Humans, a species barely capable of interstellar travel. They are of no consequence. They will be no help. Their technology is laughable, their strategies are clumsy, and their understanding of the cosmos is childish. He paused and continued, "They have no fleet, and we are talking about an anomaly that threatens to destroy everything. Humanity is no help." He spat the words out with contempt. "We are the Xylar. We do not need the humans. We have eliminated all threats. We stand alone." Ambassador Xylar, sensing the gathering storm of dissent, raised his appendages. "We will, of course, maintain our primary strategy. We will allocate additional resources to the defense of our core systems. We will deploy more probes to monitor the anomaly and identify its properties." He paused, letting the words sink in. "However, I concur with the senator. We should not dismiss the possibility of seeking some form of information. We may not have any other option but to seek help from the humans. They may be primitive, but they are a wild card, and a wild card could be helpful." He addressed the crowd and proclaimed to all the Senate Hall, "We will send a delegation to the human system. We will seek to establish a dialogue, and we will assess their capabilities. Perhaps in their ignorance they may perceive what we cannot." A collective murmur rippled through the hall, a mixture of disbelief, anxiety, and grudging acceptance. The Xylar Empire, the epitome of cold logic and technological supremacy, was about to reach out to humanity, a species they had long dismissed as insignificant. The shift in attitude was nothing short of revolutionary, but the stakes were too high. The unknown was looming, and they had no other choice. The sleek obsidian vessel, the unyielding Truth, slipped through the void, its surface reflecting the cold, distant light of the stars. It was a warship, one of the most advanced vessels in the Xylar fleet, a testament to their technological prowess. But despite its power, the crew aboard the unyielding Truth were filled with unease. The mission was unprecedented. Their destination, the Sol system, home to the species they had long dismissed as irrelevant, the humans. The approach to Earth was a study in contrasts. The Xylar sensors, accustomed to the elegant geometries of their own spaceports, detected a chaotic jumble of orbital debris, a testament to the humans' comparatively primitive technological state. The planet itself, a vibrant sphere of blue and green, was a visual anomaly, teeming with a diversity of life that the Xylar found disturbing. The very existence of such chaos filled them with unease. The Xylar delegation, led by Ambassador Vrax, a seasoned diplomat known for his calm demeanor and his ruthless efficiency, entered the atmosphere, their vessel a silent predator against the azure sky. The initial scans of the planet proved the Xylar's expectations correct. They were technologically far less advanced. The ship landed in what appeared to be a vast clearing, surrounded by towering structures of metal and glass. As the ramp of the unyielding Truth lowered, the air filled with the scent of organic matter, a sensation that the Xylar found both alien and unsettling. Standing on the ramp, Vrax took in the scene. Their sensors detected no sign of hostility, no weapons aimed at them. However, they found their lack of advanced technology and tactical organization surprising. The silence was almost deafening. A group of humans emerged from the structures, their features diverse, their expressions unreadable. Vrax, his carapace gleaming under the unfamiliar sunlight, prepared to meet them, his mandibles clicking softly. He knew that this first encounter would set the tone for the entire interaction. He had to be cautious, yet firm. He had to project an image of strength, yet show a willingness to cooperate. He lowered his head and stepped out of the ship. Their leader, a human male, approached with a calm expression, his eyes fixed on Vrax. "Welcome to Earth. We are here to help." The human spoke in a language that the Xylar had painstakingly translated, and the unexpected simplicity of the words, along with the calm way they were delivered, was a shock. The first contact with humans was always difficult. Vrax took the moment to assess the human. They were physically inferior. Their clothing was functional rather than protective. They had no visible weaponry, yet their eyes held a strange glint of intelligence and determination that made Vrax uneasy. This was not the species he had expected. He approached the human, extending a manipulato. "Ard." The human extended his hand. The touch was strange, almost jarring, but Vrax suppressed his instinctive aversion. He maintained eye contact, and his gaze was unwavering. "I am Ambassador Vrax. We have come to your world in search of assistance. We have faced an unprecedented threat, a cosmic anomaly that threatens to destabilize our galaxy, and we are willing to hear your proposals." The human nodded, a slight curve appearing on his lips. "I am Dr. Aris Thorne. We are honored to be able to help you, and we are aware of the threat you speak of. We have been monitoring it for some time." He gestured toward the structures. "Come, we have much to discuss." As Vrax followed Dr. Thorne into the building, he felt a strange mix of apprehension and curiosity. The humans were more than they seemed. The interior of the human structure was a world of clean lines and minimalist design. The walls were smooth and reflective, the lighting soft and unobtrusive. The Xyler delegation was led to a conference room where a large, circular table dominated the space. Vrax took his seat, his multifaceted eyes scanning the room, assessing every detail. The humans offered them refreshments, some form of nutrient-rich beverage. The Xyler were curious. They drank the offering and found the taste pleasant. It was a sign of hospitality. It was another surprise. Dr. Thorne sat across from Vrax, his gaze steady and direct. He addressed the Xyler delegation. "We are aware of the anomaly. We have been monitoring its progress." Vrax was skeptical. "Your technology is limited. How could you possibly gather information on a threat that has baffled our best minds?" He was surprised. He was cautious. He had to be careful not to show weakness. Dr. Thorne smiled slightly. "Our understanding of physics may differ from yours, Ambassador, but our observations are just as valid. We have been studying it." He gestured towards a large holographic display that flickered to life, showing a detailed three-dimensional representation of the anomaly. The image was stunning. The anomaly pulsed with energy, the swirling vortex of distortion rendered with breathtaking clarity. The Xyler scientists in the delegation leaned forward, their mandibles clicking with a renewed sense of urgency. The image confirmed what their own sensors had shown them. It was real, it was dangerous, and the humans had somehow managed to create a sophisticated representation of it. Dr. Thorne continued, "The anomaly is not a natural phenomenon as you might suspect. It is artificial. It is a portal, a gateway to another dimension, and it is being controlled." The words were like a blow to the chest. The Xyler had assumed it was a natural event, but it was not, and someone was controlling it. Vrax felt a chill run down his spine. The implications of this revelation were staggering. He had underestimated the humans, vastly. They were more than they appeared to be. They had the ability to see and understand things that the Xyler had failed to detect. He spoke. "Controlled? By whom? And what are its intentions?" Dr. Thorne leaned forward. "We do not know the who, but we have a theory about their intentions. They have been trying to make contact with us." He activated a separate display that showed a series of complex data streams, a tapestry of intricate patterns and symbols. "We have been receiving a signal. It's an encoded message, and we believe it comes from the other side of the portal. It is, perhaps, a message of peace." The Xyler scientists were captivated. They were scientists. Their curiosity outweighed their fear. They leaned forward, their expressions of amazement. The grand strategist who had joined the delegation spoke. "Peace, your words are unbelievable." Dr. Thorne shrugged. "It may be a lie, it may be the truth, but we cannot rule it out." He paused, his expression turning serious. "We propose a joint effort. We will work together. We need to work together to understand the true nature of this threat and to figure out the source of the message." He paused, letting the words sink in. "We can build a ship." Vrax was stunned. This was not the arrogant, technologically inferior species he had expected. These humans were offering collaboration. The very idea was astounding. This species was more than it seemed. It was a revelation. It was a lesson. He looked at the grand strategist. The grand strategist nodded slowly. He understood that his pride and arrogance had blinded him. He said, "We accept your offer. We will join your alliance. We will create this ship." The agreement was made, and the humans presented their plans, and the Xyler were shocked. The weeks that followed were a whirlwind of activity. The Xyler and the humans, despite their vast differences in appearance and culture, worked side by side. The humans provided the conceptual designs and their deep understanding of the anomaly's properties. The Xyler provided the tech, technology, and the resources. The construction of the ship, a vessel unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen, began. The ship was not designed to be a warship or a civilian vessel. It was an interdimensional exploration craft, a testament to the combined ingenuity of two vastly different species. The ship was massive. It was designed to withstand the stresses of interdimensional travel. The ship was a weapon of both science and war. The ship, the Unity, was a marvel of engineering, a fusion of human design and Xyler technology. The exterior hull was constructed of a revolutionary new alloy. It was designed to withstand the forces of the anomaly. The interior was a seamless blend of human living spaces and Xyler laboratories. The ship was a symbol of their unity, a testament to their shared commitment to survival. The bridge of the Unity was a spectacle of technology, a convergence of human ergonomics and Xyler efficiency. The displays pulsed with information, a kaleidoscope of data streams, sensor readings, and tactical projections. The crew, a carefully selected mix of humans and Xylar, worked in perfect synchronization, their movements fluid, their focus unwavering. They were one. Vrax, as the designated commander of the Unity, stood on the bridge, his multifaceted eyes scanning the array of displays, his mind racing. He had been proven wrong. He had underestimated the humans. He had misjudged their potential. Dr. Thorne stood beside him, his expression calm and assured. He understood his position. He and the Xylar knew that they were about to embark on a journey that could either save their galaxy or destroy it. Ready to proceed, Ambassador? Vrax nodded. He had come to respect Dr. Thorne and the rest of the human crew, recognizing their deep understanding of the universe and their capacity for teamwork. The two alien species were now united. He was filled with a sense of anticipation and fear. All systems nominal, ready to enter the anomaly. Let's find out what lies beyond. He spoke to the crew. Prepare for jump. The Unity surged forward, its engines humming with power, and the ship plunged into the swirling vortex of the anomaly. They could feel the ship was buffeted by forces that defied understanding, the air filled with crackling energy. They were going to the unknown. The other side of the anomaly was a world beyond comprehension. The ship emerged into a landscape of unimaginable strangeness. The space was filled with shimmering nebulae, pulsating with colors that defied description. Giant crystalline structures the size of planets drifted through the void, their surfaces covered in intricate patterns of light and shadow. The familiar laws of physics did not seem to apply. The crew stared in awe. "Sensors reporting," a young Xylar officer announced in a voice filled with wonder. "We are detecting multiple energy signatures, and they are biological." The statement was another shock. Biological signatures in this dimension. It defied logic, and yet the sensors were not lying. Dr. Thorne, his expression unreadable, stepped forward. "Prepare for contact and prepare for battle." There was a change in his tone. He was no longer the calm scientist. He was now a warrior. The humans began to prepare for combat. They were silent, but they began to prepare. They were not alone. As the Unity drifted deeper into the anomaly, they encountered the source of the energy signatures. They were unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen, creatures of pure energy, beings of unimaginable power. They were colossal. They were ancient, and they were hostile. These beings were not natural, they were artificial. They were beings created by something from beyond the stars. Their intent was to destroy all other life. Their power was beyond comprehension. The creatures attacked. Energy blasts rained down upon the Unity, shaking the ship violently. The shields flickered and strained. The ship was attacked from all sides. "Return fire," Vrax commanded, his voice filled with urgency. The Unity's weapons unleashed a barrage of energy, but the beings seemed unfazed, their attacks relentless. The ship was under fire. Their defenses were failing. The crew fought with a desperation born of pure survival. The humans fought. The Xylar fought. They fought together. Amidst the chaos, Dr. Thorne turned to Vrax. "The message, the encoded signal, it was a warning. These beings, they are a plague. They are here to consume." Vrax could sense the truth. "They are going to destroy us." The warning should have been enough, but it was too late. He glanced at the main view screen, where the image of the creatures was now overlaid with the coordinates of the Xylar and human home worlds. The creatures were going to destroy them. Dr. Thorne gave the order. "We must destroy the portal. We must cut off their access to our dimension. Prepare for a self-destruct sequence." This was the last resort. The only option, sacrifice. Only option to save both worlds. Vrax was stunned. This was not the first plan. This was not part of their alliance. He hesitated. "Are you certain?" The destruction of the portal would mean their own deaths trapped on the other side. They would never return. Dr. Thorne met Vrax's gaze, his eyes filled with a steely determination. "There is no other way. This isn't about us. It's about our future, our children, our civilization." The choice was obvious. The choice was made. Vrax nodded slowly. The Xylar understood. They understood sacrifice. They prepared for the destruction. The self-destruct sequence was initiated. The ship began to shake. The countdown began. The crew worked feverishly, preparing the ship for its final act. The ship was going to self-destruct. The humans and the Xylar embraced. They shared a final moment of unity. They shared the moment of fear. The creatures swarmed towards the ship, their energy blasts tearing through the Unity's shields. But the humans and the Xylar fought on. They were going to die with honor. They were going to save their home worlds. The Unity was on fire. As the self-destruct sequence neared its completion, the Unity reached its full capacity, unleashing a massive burst of energy that overloaded the portal, causing it to collapse in on itself. The energy was unleashed, and the portal shuttered. The gateway was closed. In its final moments, the ship's internal sensors registered a surge of energy, a cascade of information that flooded the systems, overloading their sensors. Before the Unity was ripped apart by the explosion, an image appeared on the main view screen. A message. It was an image. It showed a civilization. It showed a civilization not of the human or Xylar species. It was a civilization that predated both. They were powerful, they were ancient, and they were benevolent. They showed the galaxy in their own images. It was their message to them. The ship exploded, sending a wave of energy that consumed the creatures. The creatures were gone. The portal was closed. The galaxy went silent. Back in the Xylar Senate Hall, silence reigned. The news of the Unity's sacrifice had spread like wildfire. The initial shock had given way to a profound sense of loss, a deep mourning that touched every member of the Empire. Ambassador Xylar stood before the Senate, his voice, usually calm and measured, now choked with emotion. The Unity has been destroyed, but they have saved us. They have closed the portal. They have defeated the enemy. They have given us time. He paused, allowing the weight of his words to sink in. They will be remembered forever. A holographic image appeared, showing the combined faces of Dr. Thorne and Ambassador Vrax, their expressions frozen in time. They were now the greatest of heroes. The Xylar scientists had been working around the clock. They had analyzed the final data burst from the Unity, and they had made an astonishing discovery. There was an ancient signal. It was faint. It was ancient, but it was there. The message that had been sent from the other side. They had found the signal. They had deciphered it. They knew the message. The message, "You are not alone." A wave of stunned silence rolled through the hall. Not alone? Then there was something else out there, not a threat, but something else. A higher power, a benevolent power. The grand strategist stepped forward, his expression filled with a strange mix of awe and resolve. The humans, they were right. There is more to the universe than we can comprehend. They have shown us that. The universe is infinite. He paused and looked at the crowd. He continued. The Xylar Empire will change. We have learned much from the humans. We will become stronger. We will explore. We will not fear the unknown. We will become an empire of discovery. We will never be alone. The holographic image shifted, and the faces of the crew of the Unity shimmered, their expressions of bravery. Their final gift to the galaxy. The image revealed a map of the galaxy. It showed a new frontier, a new destination. It showed a distant star system, the signal's origin. The message was from something or someone who wanted to reach out, something beyond the reach of the portal. Ambassador Xylar turned to the grand strategist and said, "We must build a new ship. We must embark on a new journey. We must find them." The grand strategist nodded and then turned and addressed the hall. "Let us begin." As the echo of those words faded into the vastness of the Senate Hall, an ancient signal, a message from the stars, echoed in the void, a beacon of hope in the darkness. The Xylar had learned from their mistakes. They had overcome their pride. They had learned to accept help. The Xylar were now forever changed. They were ready. The humans had set an example of what was possible, of what could be, and the Xylar had risen to the challenge. The galaxy was foe. Revere changed. The future was unknown, but it was not bleak. The Xylar would build a new ship. They would continue the legacy. They were no longer alone. They had help.